All right, everybody, it's our Clow here, and the plot continues to thicken. Today I want to talk primarily about Sade, Katt Williams, and the Boondocks, and show you how I feel that they are very meaningfully connected to all of the information I presented, discussing Beyonce, her world formation tour, and what all of this has to do seemingly with an impending high-profile assassination due to take place in the not-too-distant future here. So, of course, check out those videos. They're very interesting, very compelling information, and great resources for you to familiarize yourself with more about occult research, symbolism, so on. And as always, this is not an absolute in any way. This is my interpretation of a whole slew of information here, and so it is up to you to determine whether or not it has any significance towards your perception of the world, okay? And so with that, let's jump right in here. And you see this meme I've got pulled up. It says, "Can somebody please check on Sade? I don't trust 2016." And so you might be thinking, Cloud, that's very arbitrary to pull a meme up and say there's significance because, right, there are countless memes generated every day by everyone, and so who am I to just randomly pick one seemingly and say that there's all this meaning attached to it? And typically I would be on the same page as you, but the strangest thing happens when you look into this meme because it seems to be based on a tweet that was put up by Lesean Thomas. This is what you get when you type in the phrase from the meme into Google, and so very interesting. This is what he typed on the day that Prince died. You can see it clearly there, but very bizarre because the number of retweets, you get the number 93 when it is inverted, the master Thelemic number. You also get the number 109 for the likes, and to me it's just too bizarre because, and as I'll show you here with his immense connections to Beyonce's world formation, all of that, but the 109th day of this year was a day that I discussed in which Hillary did her publicity stunt on the radio saying she always carries the hot sauce in her bag, and so again, immense significance there, but the number 109 is also the simple value for Rose Bowl Stadium, okay? You can see on the right side of your screen a refresher there, 666 worship, as well as the number 7, the key of the rituals. Again, the number 109 is important because if you drop the 0, it's 19, the sun card. Immense importance there, but take a look down below. Saturday, the day of this Rose Bowl show, everything I've talked to you about that. But let's keep moving here though, because if you jump back and you look at the time it was posted, you get the number 115, or 11 times 5 for 55, and again, both immensely important. They'll come up throughout today, but just note that. And again, just on this date, April 21st, and all of the bizarre connections I feel there are between me happening to put out the Beyonce video on April 21st. Again, to be fair, look at the bizarre time, 2:23. Not only the reduction of Beyonce Knowles Carter's initials, but also an inverted skull and bone number, just like the Prince video I put out on the day of her surprise release of Lemonade, put out at exactly 9:30. Alright, so what's up with that? And to get back to the point though with this, right, one celebrity dies, there's reference to another one, and so I want to show you for Lesean Thomas here, and we're going to talk about the Boondocks a little later on, but let's lay a baseline for Lesean, and notice his Jewish value of 440, the immense importance of 44 as a kill number, as a magic number, as the result of 11 times 4, number that's come up countless times throughout this research, but notice as well, Antichrist, alright, which if we look at as A and C, we get the number 13 as in the death card, okay? Now look here, you see, takes the mark, another false flag, shed blood for man, and conspiracies, okay? And this is going to be interesting when we talk about Katt Williams later, because he just so happens to be doing the conspiracy theory tour right now, which if we look at as CTT, we get another 322, alright? So very important stuff there. Look down below, the English and simple values, Isopsephy, that is the classic, the ancient form of gematria, or just actual way of referencing it, that is words being equal to numbers to make them interconnected, a way of encoding things, alright, to kind of veil them behind one another. But take a look here, you see Baphomet, devil, as well as hidden message, the evil elite, law of threes, and 135, alright, and so that number, immensely significant, so much so I made this cheat sheet for you to just pause right here. So you can take a look at all of the different ways that it has come up in relation to Beyonce, the Rose Bowl show, her I Slay remix of the song Formation, so on and so forth. But very interesting stuff. And so I'm going to come back and talk about Lesean more later, that number 135, and how it connects furthermore here. But let's get Sade into the mix because she is just as important in making all of this very clear. So in doing so, I went to her homepage. And you see there hasn't been much activity over here, okay, since you have this just 2011. This latest news is March 13th of 2014, but just, I mean, this is the banner. This is, you know, what she's getting your attention drawn towards is this performance, Sade Bring Me Home live in 2011. And we're going to talk about that and just notice the different colors used, and so you can see it as being coded for different ways in the phrasing, okay, but before that, interestingly, available now is 9 and 3 letters. Again, that 93, the master Thelemic number, and you also see the A and N would come down as 15. That's the devil card, reducing down to 6, the lover's card, the great work card. Okay, all very important. So now take a look over here. For Sade Bring Me Home, you will notice that it is the same values as Formation, which, I mean, that should be, I should be able to just be done with the video there, and that's crazy enough in a lot of ways. But again, 366, the number of days in a leap year, 2016, yes, is on that. You see here a satanic mark, golden ratio, as well as disappearing, amnesia of mankind, and bloodstain. Okay, so again, I've talked about more of these in the prior videos. Look down below. Same English and simple values as Beyonce Lemonade. The Brothers, remember, that is an alternative name for the Lover's card, as well as Masturbate Me and a Real Cup of Coffee. So remember from my Ride Johnny Ride video, this is from the song Bullet, talking about the assassination of JFK and then performing sodomy on Jackie O, but he does, Danzig yells, Masturbate Me repeatedly at the end there. And again, that phrase being a 4-4 of immense importance here. Real Cup of Coffee, obviously the connections I showed you in that same video about the Minute Brew commercial coming up right after we were told JFK was dead. So watch all of that. It's interesting. I don't want to eat up too much time reiterating that, but down below here you do see coding for Donald Trump, Master Mason behind the 11, as well as number 7 again coming up, very important. You also see Great Architect, long overdue, and looks can fool. Okay, so another variant on this is just Bring Me Home. It's an actual song title from her as well. I want you to see that Jewish value, same simple value as Representative Pete Sessions, Republican, or Representative of Texas, Republican of Texas, born again, this date coming up, March 22nd, 322, the year 1955. Wild stuff, the law of Thelema, water bearer, blood shower, look down below. English and simples come up as the last year of humanity. So on the left here, Sade's side, for Bring Me Home, the Jewish value of 266, reference to Thoth. Alchemist, Fear of Death, and Headshot. Okay, it's going to be interesting when we talk about her music video for Sweetest, Taboo a little later. Now take a look here. The English and simple values, again, I had these pulled up earlier, but I'll do it again. Same as Rose Bowl, as well as Lateralus and EMI Records. All of those tied in with that 135 coding at the top. And again, that French horn reference coming in there, and just to be mindful of all the information I showed you on that from the Formation video on the sides of the truth there, to show you that that is absolutely what I feel to be pretty tight connection. Now keep going here because down below you do see the English and simples are the same as Quiet Storm, this Sacrifice Sade Adu on, and I'm going to talk about that later. You see here Formula of Enri comes up, immensely important with just the secret occult aspect of this. You also see Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey final, sorry there, but the written out code for the Tetragrammaton, and so very interesting that that formula is there. And down below you have United States, Ultraviolence, as well as Grand Unveiling, Beyond Duality, and the number 64 comes up. Okay, and so that's very interesting when we're looking at, since this is Bring Me Home, I do want you to be able to see here, this is where I'm getting these dates from, but recorded on September 4th of 2011. If you reduce the date, 9 and 4 gives us 13, again that death card. You see it reduces down to 4. Remember, having to do with law, limitation, all of those concepts that really hinder our existence in countless ways. But then notice again, the year gives us 22, that master builder number, and then again we could get 4 times 22 to give us 88, incredibly important. And then reducing it down, we do get 64, and again referencing right back up top there. All right, so now the actual release date, May 22nd, again that 22, the builder number, but notice there were 223 days left in that year. The inverted 322, if you want to look at it the other way, it's very important as well, and its reduction is 22 times 3 to 66. Okay, so now with that, keep moving here because the Jewish value for Sade, Bring Me Home Live, that's the whole shot at the top of the screen there. You do have reference to Revelations, God's Will, Holy Apostle Sacrifices, Prophet of Destruction, music video, shot in Vegas, and Devastation. All very interesting. Down below, the English and simples. This has come up a lot. Look at the math over here. We do get the 666 and the 15 devil card from those 2 different numbers. I also want you to see that's the same values as New Orleans Police, Horatio Greeno, and the Grassy Knoll. Of course, that was one of the speculated places of the gunman in the JFK assassination. New Orleans is where the formation video actually takes place. And for Horatio Greeno, because this is going to come up later on, I do want you to see, let's see if I can pull him up here. Alright, so there's this for you, and you see his coding. We have V is the mark of the beast, as well as original murderer by the hand of Nema. I've talked about that organization in these videos. But for the V, I do want to point this out because in her formation video, and I'll show you in a second here, and she flashes the peace sign, the V sign. I do want you to know that from the Book of Thoth, Crowley has this listed as the sign of Apophis and Typhoon, okay, or Typhon, however you would pronounce that one. And so I want you to see for those 2, this is very important because you do see here Apophis, an ancient Egyptian deity who embodied chaos and was thus the opponent of light, and Mat, who was order and truth. Okay, and so it appears in art as a giant serpent. All of this very, very important. So now look here as well at the other one that is referenced in the V symbolism is Typhon, and so you see here was a monstrous giant and the most deadly being of Greek mythology. And so when we see all of these peace signs that are thrown up here, and I'll get to it later, but I will show you the one in the Beyonce video for now, with her throwing that up in the beginning there. It's all massively important, and again, all of this having to do with paying homage and giving energy to these different entities. All right, and so since New Orleans Police is one of the things that comes up with that coding, I want you to see that she did announce, and this came out today that I'm seeing, as you see here, May 5th this morning, and she announced 7 more dates for the tour. Again, you've seen that number pop up in the coding, and remember, it is the number of points on the Seal of Babylon, as well as the Mark of the Beast. Formation Tour is her 7th major tour, so on. Okay, but take a look here. You see it's going to be September 24th. You can reduce that date. It's very important. It comes down again and again to 15 and 6, which I've discussed at length. But notice it is at Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and you do have the prices for the tickets right here, $45 to $255. So let's take a little look at this over here really quick. Mercedes-Benz Superdome. You do have Be Very Afraid, Family of the 88, Fresh New Beginning, Queen of the Great Tribulation, Suddenly Raptured, The Religion of Voodoo. Okay, very interesting. All of these references to magic, dark magic. To be more specific, you see To Conceal and Reveal a Thing, and The Unholy Light of Demon Anger. Okay, so very troubling stuff. That English and simple there, that 1410 and 235. Remember, that is the You Are Here location in the Family Guy episode that I discussed, and remember what comes up with it is this endless loop here of the gold egg of the Aeon of Mat. Alright, so very interesting that we now have that coded in with that as well. But take a look at these ticket prices here, because this is just shit's just too much. 4 and 5 gives us 9, reducing 255, as you can see with the multiplication, gives us 110, immensely important, but dropping the 0, it gives us yet another 911 or 99 reference here. And so very interestingly as well, the high price there, 255, if we invert that, 552, remember this is the length of When Doves Cry, a song I looked into extensively in my Prince video, connecting it to his death, and it is also the same value as Chanhassen. That's where he was found dead, okay? It's also the same value of Meridanome's release date being reduced, and again, all of that having to do with the fusing of energies, these ideas of androgyny and creating something bigger, alright? And so again, you also see that it comes up there as the value of hot sauce, okay? And so all of that just very, very crucial, okay? I just have to reiterate that again and again. And so let's get down here now to talking a bit more about the Boondocks, Lesean Thomas, all of that. So I wanted to see if we had a direct Sade link with all of this, and we absolutely do. And of course, it's in season 2, episode 2, giving us that nice 22 there. Really can't overstate how meaningful that is. But you see here for the Boondocks, if we take those first 2 letters, we do get another 22. Words are 3 and 9 letters. Again, that inverted 93. Remember, 22 is the number of paths on the tree of life. It's how old Eliphas Levi was when enthroned Washington, which is a big essential marble statue dedicated to Lucifer, was unveiled. And it's also the number of major trump cards, so on and so forth. Just an incredibly important number. But take a look at this, because you can reduce this all the way down and get this 322.66. Notice the Jewish value, same as God of all things. Thinking back to that was written on the Newsweek cover with Obama and the Shiva pose. I was discussing that recently in relation to the number 135, so be sure to check that out. But you see here sorceries, FBI terror, end of the earth, and an idol of Satan. Okay, down below, same English and simple values as Rose Bowl Drive. Alright, the location of that venue, it is 1001 is the actual address of it, which is the actual release number for that Misfits Bullet EP as well, okay? And so that's crazy because you see John F. Kennedy Super Bowl, remembering this is the 50th Super Bowl this year that passed, and it was also the 50-year anniversary of Church of Satan, where Formation was debuted live, etc. You see Death Penalty, Serial Killer, and the Great Beast. Alright, so now take a look down below here. For this episode, we're going to look at from the Boondocks. And remembering, let's see, got it for you right here, all of the different references that I'm going to show you here, but I just do want you to see that there because it has all the written out cultural references since I don't have a ton of screenshots for it. But just do notice that you see reference to murderous media, human struggle, humanity, the path of An, just the path of the devil, alright, and down below the English and simple values, immensely important. You do see reference to the powers that be, the Word of Thoth, the Masterpiece, Ion, okay, Donald John Trump spelled out fully, as well as things like Secret Art Master and Book of Revelation, okay, so a lot of importance in that number, to say the least. But so just to reference, that's the actual name of the episode, Tom, Sarah, and Usher. And so in this episode, Tom sings Usher's song Burn, which was released March 12th, 2004. Notice March 12th reduces down to 3-3, that master Masonic number, which we could also have as 9, and so 9, 6, 15, devil. But I've written it out here so we see it as 33 times 6 and gives us 198, which I do want to point out to you because in relation to all of this, it is absolutely critical. It's also the same value of when we do 3 times 66, like the number of days in this year, 366, or that formation and Pasadena value. And so just take a look here though. All of these absolutely paramount phrases, the United Nations, Solomon's Vault, history repeats, the Scottish Rite, the second 9/11. All right, when you invert that number, okay, it's the number of days between JFK's assassination and the Church of Satan being founded. That is just always fascinating to me. But reference to brother of the Freemasons, Queen of Babylon, Lord of Destruction, Tarot Trumps, the Serpent at the Door, so on, alright? All very fascinating to me. And so if you look down below here, Burn, which is the song, as I just discussed, he's singing in that episode. You see the Jewish value of 322, Satan's selection, the death of me, down below the English and simple values. Again, just very critical, 33 and 55, but you see the same values as Sade Adu, and that is actually Sade's name spelled out all the way for you there, and you do see Satan as well as Song, Wicked, Lady D, and Slain. Alright, and so take a look here, Let It Burn, if you want to check it out, because it is something he says again and again in the song. And so with it, you do see reference to blood sacrifice, Don Trump, the Great Seal, Top Secret, America Babylon, okay, all of that interesting stuff, as well as the phrase, you are here, okay, and this is all actually very fascinating, so please be sure to pause and look through it. And so now let's keep moving through this episode. So Katt Williams is in this episode, and he plays a character named a pimp named Slipback. And so with that in mind, we'll talk about it in a second, but I want to look at his Wikipedia page. I hope I have it pulled up for you back here. So you can see that he has 2 different birthdays that are listed. You can see the one where it gives us his age written out. He's born in 1973, but here he's born in 1971. And so it's interesting because if you look over here, his early life, we get again 1971, and so that's very interesting because I do believe that would make him instead 44 this year, and so a lot to be said about that, to say the least. And so let's keep going back here. You can look at the reductions for his 2 different birth dates there, but the 1971 date does give us the inverted 9/11, the 99, and so take a look here because he is on his conspiracy theory tour, as I was talking about, and so of course the date on the same day that Formation was released, and so just take a look through here. You do see reference to Do Not Believe the Tabloid, Satanic Warlord, and the English and simple values. This is just too much. They're the same as I got hot sauce in my bag. Alright, and so phrase that I was looking into, oh, it's got that little star in front of it, that's why. There it goes. Alright, so that comes up there. You do see all of the same references, reveals a hidden truth. But you do see here as well, let me back up a little bit actually, because for conspiracy theory up top here, you see reference to May 7th, alright, and so that was the age that Prince was at his death. Very interesting, and is also the age of Sade right now. She is also 57, and you'll notice there down below it says January 16th. And so I have that listed as Sade's birthday here, so if we just pop back, there we go, so you can validate all of that information I just said to you there. But so very interesting, right, because I have her tied in very significantly with all of this information, okay, so she comes up in conspiracy theory in a very veiled way there. And you see reference to, again, reveals a hidden truth, I'll see you in July, Lords of the Gates of Death, and the Large Hadron Collider. So now again, you can see conspiracy theory tour, what that all comes down to. But so now how all of this comes together is in this episode, Sade is referenced twice in the women that do everything for Katt Williams, essentially. So again, this is from that episode. This is Tom's wife, but I wanted you to just see she's putting up that V there. Remember what we discussed about earlier with that. There's Beyonce with it, there's Prince with it. Prince as well here, just interestingly with that V, and as well as that I, thinking about him dying in 2016, the 16th year of the new millennium. The I at the top of this tower, the 16th tarot card, all the other 16s I showed you with that, as well as the immense significance of when doves cry and the dove happening to be on that card. But so in any case, this is Sweetest, Taboo, one of the characters with Katt Williams in this particular episode. Notice her black cross there, and so the other one that we meet is Quiet Storm, and so just notice those 2 women there, but both referenced in the episode. And so very interesting because I want you to see here, let me pull it up for you. Sweetest, Taboo, alright, so just so you can see, it is a very significant song for them. It is considered the group's signature song. This is why I was looking to Prince's When Doves Cry, because it is his #1 Billboard song. And so with this, you'll notice it's interesting as well. All of this stuff I have pulled up for you here, but I have it all decoded for you on this side, and you just notice these numbers. The inverted 13 or 31 is an actual book of law number, and all the ways you can reduce this down. But I want you to see the Prince reference here, because as you can see, Prince references the song lyrics in his 2005 charity single SST. Okay, and so it's very interesting, because if we take those the number values for those letters, we get 112, which is the number day of April 21st this year, okay, when he died. Again, the master builder number. And so keep going here. If we're looking at the Sweetest Taboo, I want you to see, and this ties back in with Lesean Thomas here, get the U.S. peak positions, 531, or an inverted 135. Okay, it is absolutely unreal how all of that is connected, and especially in this 2-2 episode now that put me on to looking into Sweetest Taboo, so on and so forth. You see how just nuts that is, okay? And so keep looking here. The release date for this song, I want you to see, reduces down to 13. Again, Death Card, year reduces down to 5. It gives us a 135, okay? The US release of it, again, very important reductions that you see. There's that number 115. Just like that tweet from Lesean earlier in the beginning that we talked about. You see year reduces to 5, gives us that 555, one of my favorite numbers to see pop up in this. And then remembering that is the Jewish value for Prince's Purple Rain, which is, you know, what is actually hailed as the last song there, so very, very important. Okay, so now let's take a look here for the Sweetest Taboo. I want to keep moving, get this all in, we're almost done. But so you see the Jewish value, deceive the inhabitants of earth, as well as the scholars make up the history. Okay, now down below, the English and simple values, again, we have this reference to golden ratio measure. I'm sorry, that's a typo there for ration. And you also see microchipped Americans, go to the inner earth, Satan worshipper. Again, you see the year of rapture, great expectations. And so now let's take a look at a few screenshots from this video, because it's really weird all throughout. You can see this glaring bull figure, and again, all throughout they're sure to have them in there, and this is definitely some pretty occult worship going on. Okay, there's no doubt about it. And so here's another bizarre thing. We're talking about the Bring Me Home, and it has coding with headshot and all the things to be talking about in a song about sexual ecstasy. Sade picks up a gun here, and right, it's not on that sort of metaphorical level with orgasms and whatnot, but is absolutely the sort of symbolic level that the occult looks at these sort of things as. All right, and so it's the clearest shot I could get of that. It's absolutely a firearm though, and so very bizarre. And again, all throughout the video, these horns appearing right behind that guitar player who's holding this with the 2 Fs, the 6-6 on his guitar. No way around it, I'm sorry. But then you see here, the video very bizarrely closes with Sade writing Temor on the window there, which translated in Spanish is fear. And so it's, again, just granted the song and what it's about is the most bizarre thing that you could see come up with that. All right, and so let's jump back here and look at the values for Temor, and you see that the Jewish value, that 265, that does give us the same as, again, pulls us back to I got hot sauce in my bag swag. All right, so adding it with that on the end of there, but you do see 33rd degree Mason popping up with that, as well as the number of the Qliphoth. Remember, the inverse of the actual tree of life and the said to be forces that drive people towards self-destruction, towards misery, towards death, towards all of that negativity. All right, so very fascinating stuff. But take a look at the actual Jewish values for that number. You see dark moon, which again, D and M are both 4s, and even the letters themselves, both words are 4 letters. all fours across the board there, okay? You see hates God, aliens kill all, very troubling one, big problem, blue beam, magic is real, and atom bomb. So down below, English and simples are the same as schism. Remember, that is the Tool song I looked into when I started this channel, this new channel, so to say, and again, just all of the importance there, but you do see very profound figures coded with that all the way, okay? And so let's keep moving here though. So as I said, the other character in this episode, so you have the Sweetest Taboo, and the other one's name is Quiet Storm. It's not only a song lyric from that song, sorry, a lyric from that song, Sweetest Taboo, but it's also a song by Mobb Deep, Smokey Robinson, and so on. But so Quiet Storm, take a look at their both words are 5 letters. We get the reduction of 9 from the beginning letters, just like pendulum, okay, thinking back to the Ride Johnny Ride video and the Minute Brew commercial, okay, the pendulum being referential towards much more than just the idea of time, okay? So now take a look here for Quiet Storm, because this is crazy. You see the Jewish values up top, reference to evil, which could also be live or Levi. Planned nuclear attack, America is in trouble, the key of it all, Yod and Nun, alright? And so that is essentially the paths of life and death, okay? Very interesting, the English and simples. Same as Bring Me Home Live, formula of Henry, and the written out formula for Tetragrammaton, as well as the Sade Adu No Sacrifice, okay? And I'll talk about that again in just a second here, but so now for the album, which that was actually on. Let's get this in here because promise is significant. There you have that, alright, so you can see all of these numbers again, and so just take a look back here and see all of the reductions I've shown you here, all of this master builder stuff. Look at the US release here. We get this number 66 from the actual date, November 15th reduction, the year reducing to 5, and that coming back to Lisa Resper's France, alright, and so remember that was the woman who wrote the Decoding Beyonce's Lemonade, the 888, all of the stuff I showed you with that. Take a look at her coding over here. It's very troubling stuff, alright, to say the least, and I did talk about Kenneth Grant and what that phrase means, alright, so very important stuff. But so take a look over here now for the Jewish value, same simple value as Never Lose a Bet to Bart Simpson. Again, all of that very important with the Simpsons references that I've shown you here, okay? You do see with that ancient mind control techniques, the Rothschilds made all religions criminal, terroristic threats, the terrorist attack of all time, and crucifix is a symbol of man's evil, okay? All very fascinating. The English and simple values, same as Misfits and the Freeman, as in the Freeman family on the Boondocks, alright? So very interesting stuff. Last point here, just to point it out, Sade Adu, her full name there, as we showed you earlier in this video, it does have the same coding as Burn, the song that appears in that Boondocks episode, and so I won't go too much into that second bit, but take a look at her first coding here, the 3 and 5, forehead sign, Abraham Lincoln as dead as a dodo, the Book of Ball, New Moon, Fire Element, and this is where I get that add no sacrifice to, okay? And so here you see that in the inverted Jewish value that comes up here, the inverted 16 that we have, again, being referential possibly towards the Tower Tarot, God damn it, the Tower Tarot card, alright? So now down below here you see the Truth, the Mark of the Beast, Terror Alert, Don't Go Out, Mission Accomplished, Portals of Time. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with that, as well as the real people behind hate. And so again, just to close all of that out, you see it is the same values as Bring Me Home Live, Quiet Storm, Formula of Henry, and the Formula of Tetragrammaton, alright? All important things that I brought up throughout to tell you to pay particular attention to, okay? And so it's all very interesting as well. We'll see what they say about Hillary Clinton being a witch, especially with all of her references to hot sauce that she's been putting out there lately. Again, be sure to watch that other video that I did where it actually talks a little bit more about that, so you can see the significance attached to all of it. Okay, so with that, I just do worry about Sade, what it has to do with all of these other numbers I've been seeing lately, and who it is that's going to go, right? It's just a matter of who and when at this point, because we know these people are controlling this and that they're sick enough to carry this out as ritualistic balancing of energy on the earth here. Okay, so we'll see what they do, what direction they take it in, but I really appreciate everybody for taking the time to watch this video, and for everybody who has subscribed, thank you very much. Be sure to just always think about this information and discuss it with others. That's what I'm really interested in getting people to do, is simply engage and then try to inflict the action that they actually want to see. Alright, get off the soapbox there. Thank you so much for watching, and please be well.